Nouns Esports. We are heading on to our first ban phase.
Oh, and a reminder for everybody, this is a double elimination bracket with a bracket reset. So if Lellovers coming from the lower bracket takes the win, they are going to play once another series to actually dethrone Nouns Esports, because of course coming from the upper bracket you have that advantage of just winning straight away. The bracket, or the draft rather, starting with Hooper, Mimikyu, Miraidon and Blastoise on the bench with a priority for the Psyduck. But Potato, we see you, and we see you with a helping hand Blissey as well.
Garchomp, helping hand Blissey. The attack speed on that land shark is gonna be insane. Assuming it'll end up being a helping hand, that makes the most sense. But you know what? Blaine is going to lock in their bread and butter for the comp. The Eldegoss, we've really seen them rock this Pokemon, especially with those invades. And well, Adesu, once again, the evolution connoisseur. Can't go wrong with Espeon, especially with those Psyshocks.
Yeah, those Psyshocks as finishers, as starters for the stun have been all around incredible. Speaking of all around, a Blaziken that gets confirmed here, and if we are following a potential double all-rounder, we could see another, or we don't have a defender still here for Nouns, and we know that Bruv definitely enjoys... Okay. Bruv enjoys the Snorlax, but once upon a time, it was Bruv showtime on the Mr. Mime.
Yeah, hey, it's showtime, because Mr. Mime, I feel like this is something we haven't seen in a hot minute. But really interesting to see the three supporters being picked up by Nouns here instead of picking up a defender. So it'll be really interesting to see what these switch ups are going to be and who's going to have the experience share. Is it going to be the Psyduck or is it going to be the Mr. Mime? But Snow, we saw them in that previous set, picking up that Zarina once again, and I think its passive actually plays really well into the team composition that Nouns have selected because of that CC reduction.
I agree, Callow, and looking at the composition here for the Mr. Mime in particular. Right. So although we highlighted Bruv on it, it's going to be Toon on the Mr. Mime. They have not changed. I repeat, they have not changed. Toon is playing Mr. Mime with Choice Specs, Spoon, and Focus Band. So you were questioning the EXP share on either of them? No, it's going to be on the and the side.
What's going on here? What is going on here? Psyduck is supposed to be Toon's bestie, right? Bruv is known for their Mr. Mime. Nouns, you're bamboozling me right here. But I guess Toon gonna potentially show Bruv how it's done, the attacker build. So having that Slick Spoon and Choice Specs on hand, plus that Focus Band as well. So we're gonna see a barrier confusion Mr. Mime here, right?
Oh yeah, and that's just gonna bring us back to early seasons of Unite for this grand finals as we get into it. It's the best of three, Nouns Esports on your purple versus Lellovers on the orange. And starting off the gates already, we actually have Toast as the Mew and Kaizen with the Chansey in the central area.
You know what? I like that Kaizen is here, prepared for a potential Blaine invade, locking in that red buff. But they've decided to just leave Blaine to go and soak up all of the experience on their own and go in for an early push-up in the top path against Adesu.
Huh, interesting. And at the same time, Adesu was already able to confirm as much as EXP as possible to get to the Espeon form and evolve. Now Torchic crying for help, trying to get to the berries, is not going to be able to do so. And Kello, overall, it's just so mind-boggling what is going on. Blaine now getting it, the Eldegoss evolution, also getting the blue buff. What is going on?
Well, they're powered up and ready to go, heading up down into that bottom lane. But Adesu all alone. This isn't the one that you want to see. Usually an all-rounder because, well, Espeon is quite squishy. But Nouns, they're going to put the pressure on this bottom path, get some dunks of their own, considering they have the space to push back that Eevee and Steenie so far.
Yeah, Combuskin trying to get as many stacks as possible here on the bot side, and we know just how much Godlu can do if they are just ramped up into that final evolution. Kaizen doing that boosted auto there, but back is a Desu proccing that focus band on the Blissey. And overall, though we're having quite a lot of brawling, nobody really at the danger of actually getting taken down.
I think the interesting thing as well, we've had little dunks here and there, but it's actually only Adesu who is running the attack weight stack over on their team, but coaching paired up with that Umbreon. I mean, it's going to be hard to take down that duo.
It really is, and as you said, it's just important for all of them, Desu and Godlu, with these stacking items to get those as soon as possible. And they have been moving very interesting as a unit in the central area. We've already been through the 8-minute mark, and I presume, considering Nouns Esports were there, that they took the EXP themselves, and looking at the numbers, it's Mr. Mime Toon on level 7 and Godlu on the 7 as well on the Blaze again.
As if we weren't mind-boggled enough, we actually have Adesu going and taking those experience in this central area, but Gatlu has managed to reach level 8, charging up that overheat to lock in most of the birds for themselves, but a KO over onto Toast.
Oh, and it looks really good. The Psychic will force out the eject button. Another overheat, very nicely executed there. And a 2KO shriek for Godlu that could turn into another one, but not before Marv capitalizes on yet another player. We're going to have a 15 into a 40 for a 20 over dunk by Nouns Esports on the bot tier 1.
Even though there's Aeos energy, which is super duper tempting to pick on up, sometimes you've just got to break that goal ASAP, even if they could have whittled it down a little bit further. But they have secured themselves a Reggie steal for Nouns Esports. That Reggie Lecky is going to go in for a reset, while we do have Zarina and Blissey trying to get on ready. And I spy a yellow dot above that Mew.
The Mystical Mirage could make a huge difference here, especially when they're all close together and bundled up. Now, Bruv taking so much, but we know it's a Psyduck. As soon as it gets the headache, it can survive quite a bit of damage. Half HP on the Reggie and Lecky. They go into Kaizen, the Psychic Select. Next gets everybody into the air and looking so good here. The Mystical Mirage there just to get Toast into a better position as Bruv was trying to steal that berry. And now Nouns Esports, considering that Reggie Lecky was already initiated, they will take it, but that tier 1 still standing, so I don't think they're going to be able to score as much as needed to break it before it gets to the tier 1.
You know what? Lellovers, they don't mind that ended up getting taken. We have Zarina going and getting some dunks in of their own. But we do have Adesu who has 40 points. This is only going to be a 9 over dunk if they do get it in. And yes, they do, just to create the space. Blaine to replenish that HP with the Cotton Cloud Crash. But you know what? Espeon, as we mentioned, quite squishy. So going to get knocked out.
And to be fair, Godlu was also close to getting knocked down, but uses the eject button to get away. So nicely dodged there by both of them. And what you said, if you are going to have somebody get knocked down, it's probably going to be the Squishy. And if it's just one Pokemon, then it's okay. 25 seconds for the Reggie bottom to spawn here, as we're looking at Lellovers with the positioning you would expect by them, but it rather non-traditional path here from Nouns Esports. They're going through the enemy central area themselves, maybe looking for a flank, but those both supporters here, because they have 3 in that squad, gotta remember that they are going to at least try to create some space. Livid Outrage is not available for Lellovers, so Potato has to keep that in mind when they continue for this engage. Now Regirock is getting attacked. They're trying to get into the backline. Maybe the Blissful Assistant could go onto the Garchomp, but they're still not going to be able to do that. The Psychic Select gets 4 of them up into the air, and Blaine and Desu doing so good on the Espeon. Now Serena is going to go so deep, now trying to use the Queen Ascendancy, but it gets cancelled, and now Regirock is going to get focused by the side of Nouns Esports, and they confirm the objective themselves. They can keep on pushing, and that's going to be yet another knockout for Nouns.
That is so unfortunate for Snow to have their Queen Ascendant cancel the game, even though they don't actually have full heal on the side of Nouns. So I'm kind of curious, what ended up cancelling it?
Maybe it was a split second from the Psychic. Maybe the Psychic pulled him in just briefly before it was charging. I don't know. It was supposed to have invulnerability, so I'm also very confused, Scalar.
But doesn't matter. They do have a bit of time to actually utilize it for the next fight. So that is on hand, especially as we can see them on the mini-map in the bottom path. Meanwhile, we have members scattering about up in the top path. Adesu gets knocked down once again. Blaine forced to use their Cotton Cloud Crash to replenish the team's HP.
And now trying to potentially steal this one, going with the surf. It's going to be Toast who guarantees it. And with that beautiful play by Potato to take down Adesso immediately on the fight, they are going to guarantee that takedown and the Reggie Alecki is going to get swiftly defended by Nouns.
Yeah, it's going to get shredded on up, but this does provide Lellovers the chance to go and farm up their Unite moves, some experience, considering Zarina has only ticked over to level 12. However, we do have Potato who has reached both of those plus movements, considering they have level 13.
It's the power spike that any carry wants in the late game. 20 seconds here and a differential of 15 for that Reggie versus Rayquaza to spawn. Maybe we'll see Nouns Esports going for this one as they have the positioning here, but rather, I would say they might just go for a defense. But if they have enough damage, maybe they go for it. Now, the totality of Lellovers is on the top side, so they're just going to go for the rip on the Reggie steal while they're trying to take down their tier 1 and create some space. But at the same time, there's still 10 seconds for those double points to actually come in.
Thing is, what is more beneficial here? Getting points on the board or missing out on that Reggie steal? As if Nouns wasn't powered up enough, you give him some special attack and attack buff here. Things might get a little bit intense as Toast is going to lock onto Toon with that basic auto.
Oh, and the light screen's coming by Toon. That's so huge. Another beautiful Psychic Solaire from Adesu as he's still creating space. Bravo with the surf is going to try to push them away, but Potato did so well with the guard jump going into the backline, but it's just going to be Toon that gets taken down at the moment, while 4 members of Lellovers are taking themselves. Only Snow is standing, and that's arena between 4 players is not going to be able to do that much, or are they? No, completely denied, as Nouns Esports is going to rip through Rayquaza with the members still trying to join here, Lellovers, but it's the defender and the supporter. There's no defense, and Nouns Esports will take the objective.
Even with a helping hand, it isn't enough to give Marv that speed boost to make it into the Rayquaza pit. But 100 ends up going up into that top path from Gatlu. Another hundo into that home base and make that 300 with Blaine. Meanwhile, we have Adesu defending bottom and Toon defending up here against 2 members.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation here. Oh, the safeguard almost guarantees this one. Do we have a squad shield somewhere? That was really interesting. There's Toon basically defending against 2 people at the same time and doing very well at that. The light screens are such a nuisance to get them into blocking their escape route. But side, it's going to be Blaine pushing Umbreon away, and Marv is not going to be able to score. It's instead an 100 that Adesu scores in the home goal.
This is going to be the first match that Lellovers have lost today. So going on in, next round, if Nouns ends up taking it, they're going to be your champions for the January Cup. But I guess with 5 seconds left to go, 4 members, a last attempt, but trying to make up 400 points, I think, is a hard task.
Definitely in one single goal, that is basically virtually impossible. Though Lellovers did really well during the game, and they had a very nice power spike with those level 13s that we saw, especially for Garchomp on Potato. Nouns Esports still managed to take this one with a 3 supporter composition nonetheless.
Just goes to show that no matter their team composition, Nouns can seem to do anything. Bravo on the side up, Toon on the Mr. Mime with a great defense. Gatlu receiving that MVP, considering they had the 6 KOs and 4 assists. But, I mean, you got to look at the double digits for Bruv. The 12 assists?
It's good. It's really good. We've seen Bruv playing the Psyduck today, and it's proven to be an incredible weapon. But the fact that Toon manages to make this work on a Mr. Mime when you had the highlight Pokemon for Lellovers on the Garchomp, on the Zarina, on the Mew. It's literally the composition that we have been hyping up for this team the whole day. And with 3 supporters, now Esports. And it makes you wonder, you had everything on your disposal. with the composition, and you still didn't make it. That feels so harsh.
I guess that's the thing with Unite, right? You can have the best team composition, but sometimes things just don't end up panning out the way that you plan in your head. But this is interesting. Blaine locking in the Blissey as the first pick this time round, rather than picking up Eldegoss. I'm guessing this might be to counter the Garchomp Blissey helping hand combo and split them up.
I think it's a great strategy, and I totally agree with you, Keller. That is what I would say is the case as well. We might see something different here for Nouns Esports from the last game, because personally, when you run 3 supporters and you win, I think you leave it at that. You don't want to risk it or push it too much. So they're going for a traditional defender here on the Trevenant, plus a Desu on the Espeon, while on the side of Lellovers, they continue with their strengths, the Umbreon, the Garchomp, the Mew, and in this case the Eldegoss. Back for Godlu on the Blaziken, plus Toon on this Glaceon, so double evolution, and an Urshifu for Snow on Lellovers.
Ooh, okay, this is interesting. I mean, we did see Snow pick up that Urshifu earlier on. I guess just for the secure with the Wicked Blow, especially coming on into the double evolutions. We know their HP pool isn't quite as grand at being attackers, so they could really succumb to a Wicked Blow or even an Ebon Fist Unite move.
Very possible, and it's the secure option that you have on both sides, right, with the Urshifu Wicked Blow and with the Overheat from Blaziken. So both teams have that capability. Psyshock also very nice there on the Espeon, but if you compare it to the Solar Beam on the Mew, there are a couple of differences with how much damage and range you're going to have. So I think this is going to be very competitive, Keller.
I think one thing to note as well is Adesu was actually running stored power that last match instead of the Psyshock build. I guess considering they already had Gatlu, the Overheat secure, if things got a bit dicey, Toon with the confusion. So looking at this team composition here, are we going to see another stored power, or do you think Psyshock would be a bit more beneficial?
Well, I think it's interesting because you have such good points from each of the moves. With the Psyshock, you're trying to guarantee even more of their zoning power because it does not a lot of damage, but also the stun. But you have the stored power with the sure hit damage, which might be necessary fighting against the Mew. Nonetheless, Nouns Esports is yet again on purple side, as the Lovers is on the orange, as we're getting into match point for Nouns Esports in this grand finals.
If Nouns take this, they are going to be your champs for the January Cup in the EU region. Adesu has taken that central area, only going to take the red buff and go in for some early pressure up in the top path.
Looking really good there. The passive already procs there on Adesu, and it is stored power as you were questioning. And in this case, looking to go for the sure hit instead of trying to have a little bit more of that damage and hindrance. But overall, you need to allow for the Torchic in the top side to have as much ESP as possible. So now Adesu is going towards another side of the map.
Yeah, they're going to actually retreat on back, go and help Toon also get online, considering they are now at that Glaceon phase. But 3 seconds until these birds, and it's only Marv down here as a lone Umbreon. Interesting rotation here.
4 members top, 4 members bottom, and the Chansey that is just desperately trying to become a Blissey, and plenty of points, almost equal, we could see here for both teams, as they are trying to take down as much of damage into those goal zones as possible. Bruv will steal this last one here. Oh, or actually, does he? No, I think Marv might have gotten it. And this is just overall very different from traditional.
Oh, well, sometimes you've got to catch your opponents off guard. It's expected to see the 4 members up in the top path, so Nouns doing the complete opposite. However, Adesu, left all alone, does end up getting taken down to toast after being chipped away by Potato. This is going to give him some space here in the middle part, but wait, we have Toon and Bruv joining the party.
And Blaine is forced to also come here as well to make sure the numbers are going to be even for both teams. And as you said, Nouns take the Swablues, but at the same time, we saw Toast might have stolen a couple of them because of the solar beam. Going here to the bot side, 11 points out of 80 on the Lellovers tier 1 zone.
Yeah, so not too much difference. I mean, looking at the levels so far, Toon does have their Unite move at level 8, the yellow dot above their head. But 3 members, once again, leaving Marv all alone to try and out-secure 3 members of Nouns.
It's crazy. It's a very difficult task for both of these teams, as you said, with these secure options, with Wicked Blow, Overheat on either side. They're trying to take down as much as possible here, but Lellovers beat them to the score as they've taken down the top tier 1. Perfect spot for them to trade out objectives and say, well, Reggie Alecki for us is much more important now.
Yeah, this might be quite risky for Nouns Esports. Yes, they do end up gathering themselves a Reg Ice. We still have that Blissey and Espion up in the top half to deal with the Reggie Alecki. Lellovers, despite having the Reggie Alecki, they're looking to just farm on up, get the experience, and get some Unite moves on hand instead of risking getting KO'd with a push.
And it feels like this game, although we had the rotations pretty different than usual, the teams are sticking to them, which in most part has been avoiding fights altogether. That is going to change as we speak, as you have a jump pad push here with Toast joining the party. Most of Nouns Esports already on the central area. Swablu's delivered outrage. Oh, and such a lovely dodge that comes out by a Desu, or actually Toon. And they escape this one with a Mystical Mirage being popped by Toast. Still going to get tracked by the Ice Cold Spears, but it's not as many of those stacks as you would have wanted. The Woodhammer will still seal the deal, make it a letter to send you home to the Pokemon Center.
Big claps to Blaine there. The safeguard onto Toon, plus the eggs as well to just buff them as they pop their glacial stage. Being able to come out on top of that fight, go and break that top tier 1 pad, and now they have that lead at 186 to 105 points. Was quite close for a moment there, but I mean, you can see them ticking on over. We now have 3 double digits on the side of Nouns.
And I think this versatility is paying off really well for them and how they have been playing the fights and just the long game altogether. Nice Woodhammer as well to set up for Potato to get taken down over the wall and into the support. So there you go. But a nice safeguard, as you have been mentioning, that comes from Blaine. They're still going to use the Phantom Forest as well. The Electro Ball is going to follow them into it, and with another one to slow down Blaine. But the safeguard will help them not get slowed. And in this trade, it was just a 1-for-1, but both objectives are going to be yet again traded, maybe without contention.
Oh, this is interesting. Lellovers, they're the ones that ends up coming on top, except they want to prioritize this Reggie Alecki, potentially just to create a bit of a distraction. Whether they're actually going to push, it is a bit risky considering we do have those jump pads available.
With Swablu's here in the central area and Lellovers taking control over them. Bruv just trying to keep track of where the enemy is. The eject button that has been forced there from Potato onto Toon. Now stacking out those ice shards onto the Reggie Alecki to clear it as fast as possible. Ooh, Toast still confirms the buff themselves in their central area, but still nice attempt there by Nouns Esports to try and deny the XP.
Yeah, being able to deny the XP, shred up that Reggie Alecki, have double digits across the board in terms of their levels. Toon has just ticked on over to the level 13. So Lellovers, they do have the comeback experience in terms of the Indeedis because both of those tier 1 pads are gone, but it is a barren desert right now.
It really is. Look at Marv. There's once again going to escape by the skin of their teeth with the Phantom Force actually being baited into use. Now Mystical Mirage just to keep people away from their own teammates. Backline, Godlu just charges out the overheat but decides it's the best option to disengage themselves. We don't have any objectives on the board. They're still going to try to go for it. And Dacer with another 3-man knockup. It looks so good, but they're still going to get knocked down themselves. They're trying to maintain a healthy distance, but Bravo got taken, and that's the job of a defender. But it's a 2-for-0 for Lellovers taking the upper side of this fight. Oh,
The damage!
That is
on
crazy.
toast. I mean, they almost became burnt toast from that overheat, just having minimal HP. But, I mean, the knowledge from Gatlu there, they're just charging up. Snow gets locked down by an icicle spear, knocked on out just 10 seconds before this final basement Reggie.
Oh, and it doesn't feel like a good position for Marv to be in. We know that you're slippery and you can heal, but sometimes it's just not worth it. Although it's pushing the attention away here, but from Desu into trying to stop the reset, and they will successfully do so. But the problem now is you have that basement Reggie being taken by Nouns Esports and Lellovers, although they're going for the Reggie Alecki. Sometimes we just know that the team fights are more important.
I mean, with 20 seconds left to go, Marv does not want to risk getting taken down there. So escaping with just a hair on their HP. But 10 seconds left to go until the final stretch. This could be Lellovers' last moment for a comeback. Their positioning is so important here as Toon has found a target on Potato.
No, and they're looking incredibly much like a stick pin as they're still trying to go for it with delivered outrage on the backline and plenty of shielding to back it up. With the Cotton Clock Crash will maintain them healthy. Now Brav is going to be the next target as they're still trying to escape, with Blaine going in with the safeguard will maintain that defense going for Nouns Esports. So far a 1-for-1 on both teams. Now looking for the Woodhammer, pushing them into a lovely position, but the Solar Beam is going to nail them down with another wicked blow that connects, but it doesn't really do enough damage. They're still pushing for it. Marv is in the front line trying to take Godlu down, but there comes the healing and the shielding, and it works out perfectly. Adesu is going to keep on going. The Psychic Slayer sets them up beautifully, and yet again, they manage to take 4 members down. Now Rayquaza is potentially going to get contested, but it's only Potato. Can they do anything about this? Do they have a say? They're going to the pit, and they don't manage to take it. Nouns Esports is Godlu with the objective.
Oh my gosh, that was Lellovers' final chance, and unfortunately Potato wasn't able to do it as we have points raining on in 386 to 150 points. Only 40 seconds on the clock remaining. But I mean, with score shields on hand, that is going to give them some increased damage, some increased shielding, and so 30 seconds left. 3 members of Lellovers down. I think it's pretty safe to say that Nouns Esports have done it again for the 3rd time and are going to be your UCS January Cup champions for Europe.
A 3-peat is what this team has been able to assert, and with Blaine, no less, 3 cups in a row, and they make it. It's yet another Nouns Esports win. This team is on top. They are your giants, and they have not been slain. Lellovers with a valiant effort, but they are going to get taken down in a fell swoop, 2-0. 884 versus 150, not even close.
Absolute madness there. That is, once again, highlights I definitely want to watch. But there we go. MVP, Toon, 8 KOs, 8 assists. But you know what? I think the thing is, this is Blaine's final comp. What an way to end with a bang. Obviously, it's still going to be part of Nouns, but is going to be replaced by Inda. So that must feel really good for the team. 103k damage from Toon.
Yeah, it's nothing to sleep on. Oh, what a game! What a game, because Lellovers had so much going for them as well, and how they were rotating, trying to match the very different rotations that Nouns Esports were throwing at them. Look at the graph, it was just so close all around. But then when you have a team fight to be played, and Nouns Esports have the nerves of steel to say that Reggie